Veronica's Office, Bigger, Longer and Cuter is the fourth episode of the third season of Veronica's Closet, and there will be some spoilers as I discuss the narrative. It's been a while since we had an episode that focused mostly on Perry and Leo, and I really enjoyed their part of the narrative. I'll get in with that in a moment. First of all, the part focusing on Veronica is pretty wonderful. Kirstie did an amazing performance here, as she always does, of course. And the construction work that we've seen over the last few episodes is finally finished, and the office is very bright shade of red. And Veronica is convinced that June's office is better, when really the differences are so tiny. But obviously, she can't bear the thought of June having something better than she does, considering June owns a large part of her company. And she spends the episode obsessively trying to work out which of the two offices she wants. And I have to say, it's really nice of June letting Veronica decide. June is actually a really nice person. She's not exactly somebody who Ronnie gets on well with, but she seems like a really nice, if somewhat occasionally or very often dim individual. But she brings something really great to the show, and she's genuinely really thoughtful, and I think that really bothers Veronica. And she gets into such a mess trying to work out which of the offices she wants. And one of my favourite lines, it sounds cruel, but in the moment it was very funny. In fact, there are two things that made me laugh out loud. And the first is when she calls Olive Pegleg, which sounds mean, but within the context of the scene it made sense. Just the delivery of the line was absolutely brilliant. And the other bit that I loved is when we see the passage of time really quickly with a clock that's spinning round and round, but then it zooms out and we realise that it's Olive spinning the clock, and Veronica tells her to stop spinning it. And it amused me so much. Obviously, me describing it is nowhere near as funny as the actual episode makes it. And there were a lot of things that made me laugh out loud. Really enjoyed that part of the narrative. The other part, as I said, focuses on Perry and Leo. And Leo receives a box of things from a woman called Tiffany, his high school girlfriend. And one of them is a VHS tape. And Perry gets hold of this tape and decides to play it, thinking it's a sex tape. It isn't, but it's still something that embarrasses Leo, and Perry has to do a lot of grovelling to make up, because he's potentially ruining his friendship, and we have some really moving moments between Leo and Perry, and I really thoroughly enjoyed watching that part of the episode too. We have some great music in this episode, and that's not to say the other episodes don't have great music, but it really stood out to me with this one. It's also very funny, very sweet, really had a lot of fun, without question. I think Veronica's Office, Bigger, Longer and Cuter, is certainly the strongest episode of Veronica's Closet from season 3, and I'm really keen to see what else this final season has in store. This was a really brilliant episode, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it.